Hey, what's up? It's me, Trojan Prince. Um, this is a channel where I will be discussing transgender, FTM, transitioning stuff. Basically, I am transitioning. I am 19 years old. I have been out since I was 14 years old. There is a situation with my family that didn't accept me for who I was, and because of that, they gave me a hard time about it. And I'm saying that as nice as possible. I could say other things and use other words and everything, but I'm just not going to go into it. Long story short, I took it back, and every other year or so, I'll be like, Mom, Dad, remember when I said I was trans? That's actually true, blah, 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 blah. And then they blow up on my face and flip out over it and everything. And then I take it all back, and, because I didn't know how to accept myself, even though people couldn't accept me for who I was. And that was the most hardest thing for me as a person, as an individual. And it was like one of the first things that I wanted to do within my life was accept me for who I was, regardless what other people thought. But I just could never do that until now. Until now. So when I turned 18, which was literally a year ago, yes, emotional, crying, scared, afraid, nervous. I was going through a bunch of emotions, and I came out to my parents one last time and I said, Mom, Dad, this is me. This has always been me. I'm sick and tired of taking it back, trying to please you guys, and I don't want to please you guys any more than I should. And so I am going to be myself regardless what you guys think, and I'm going to transition regardless what you guys think. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's totally fine with me. As long as you accept me for who I am and you treat me like I would like to be treated. And they were like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, you're trans. Cool. Yeah, we kind of knew. But did that help? No. They had a lot of but this, but that, but this, but that. And I was like, no, that's not how it should be. I shouldn't be restricted from being myself. They had certain rules and laws, so to say. Yes, okay, my family was Mormon. Let's just put a disclaimer there. They are Mormon, so I had to go to church, obviously. I had to, growing up, I wore dresses and skirts, regardless if I wanted to or not. And I always threw a fit about it. But when I was 18 years old, they're like, yeah, sure, you're an adult. You don't have to, you don't want to. So I at least had some freedom in expressing myself and who I was and everything. But even then, I still had some restrictions, so to say, in who I was supposed to be, essentially. They told me that I'm still my birth name to them. I'm still their daughter, and, they'll never accept me as their son, and so forth and so forth. As of right now, that still stands. I moved out of their house a long time ago, like a few months ago, and one of their rules was I couldn't transition in their house. And I said, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. I'll wait till I'm out of the house. So I took that opportunity. And I am proud to say, as of this Saturday, I am 1 month on testosterone. And these are the following changes that have happened. But before we get into that, there are other ways to getting on hormones for you trans folks out there. Whether you're a trans girl, trans guy, or non-binary even, there are multiple ways of doing it. The most common way is going through a gender therapist and then going a T letter and doing that. I didn't go down that route. My friends did, YouTubers I watched did. I didn't do that. I found out through a coworker that Planned Parenthood does HRT, but they don't call it HRT, they call it gender affirming care. It's basically the same thing, but all you have to do is just walk in, give your name, like your preferred name, your preferred pronouns. You have to have your license ready, obviously. If you have insurance, they do insurance, and they accept certain insurances. Mine is Blue Cross, and I get it through my work. So my work completely covered it, so I didn't have to pay a thing. I didn't even have to do a copay or anything, which I thought was really cool. And you just go in, and that very first appointment is just basically just saying, okay, so these are the risks, these are the effects that will happen, here's how long it'll take, and they give you a pretty good, like, legit rundown of how things are going to work, and what will happen, what won't happen, all this stuff. And then they go over, like, what your emotional state is, have you been eating enough, like, all this stuff. And they also talk about, like, your sexuality, like, if you were to have sex with someone, who would that be with, male, female, or both? And then they talk about, like, your health in general, emotional health, mental health, all that kind of stuff. They also do your vitals, they take your blood test or whatever, and to be honest, it wasn't that bad, my very first day. And then I met my doctor, and they're really nice. They said that if I need help with anything, if I need anything, just come on in. I don't even have to book an appointment or anything. I can just be like, hey, I need so-and-so ASAP, and they'll try to fit me in. And then we sat right there, and she ordered everything, and she, it took a while actually for me to get on T, mainly because my pharmacy didn't get it on time, and so I had to wait a whole nother week to start. And so every Tuesday now I inject myself with testosterone. I started on 0.2, and then I worked my way up. Every week would be an extra 0.1 ml, so it was 0.2, then 0.3, then 0.4, and then 0.5, and once I reach 0.5, that's my max dose. I stay on 0.5 until further notice. I started injecting myself in my legs. I said, yes, that is plural, so I started with my right leg, and then I went to my left. Depending on how you do it, it's intermuscular or subcutaneous. It may hurt, may not, and it just depends on how you do it, essentially. One of my videos, I'll maybe show how I do my T-shot. I'm not really completely comfortable with needles yet, but I'm getting to that point. I think my next shot, which will be done tomorrow, will be in my abdomen, because I want to see if that's better than my legs, but we'll see. Let's go in with what changes have happened. When I was on 0.2 ml, I noticed veins that I've never seen. That's like one of the very first things I noticed, like the next day. Like I was in the shower and I was, washing my arms, and I look down and I see a vein that I've never seen before, and I go, wait, so there's a vein that I've seen as a kid, and then there's some extra veins. I'm just like, oh wow, that's so cool. And then I also noticed my voice. My voice didn't crack or anything, but it started to hurt. Like my voice, like it felt like I had a sore throat, And then, it was really itchy kind of feeling, And I felt like I had a sore throat, but I didn't. When I was on 0.3, I noticed the other things. But yeah, 1 month just basically I noticed some extra veins. Not necessarily extra veins. It's not like I was just given veins randomly, but you get the gist. My veins are more prominent. I started to sweat a lot more, which was weird. Like especially like in my armpits area. Like even right now, like I can feel like sweat running down like my sides. Like it's weird. Growing up, I wasn't a big eater. Like my metabolism wasn't, like, I didn't eat a whole lot, and like going out to restaurants and stuff like that, like I didn't like going out to eat a whole lot because I only ate like so much food. I didn't eat a whole lot, and now I feel like I can eat like a whole buffet table. Like it's insane. I did work out a little bit, I don't work out every single day because I do work 40 hours now, just about, but I don't know, I want to show you, but my muscles are getting there. I mean, look at that. Like my I guess my jawline is starting to get there. A coworker was like, "Hey, your facial structure is kind of forming," and I go, "Wait, what?" They go, "Yeah," and I go, "I didn't notice that." But yeah, coworkers, great people. A lot of them support you, and a lot of them don't. It just depends. Where I work at, Albertsons, they're very accepting. So if you are looking for a job, work for Albertsons because they are very accepting. At least where I work. Oh yes. Things down under. Monthly thing. My code name for it is Shark Week, and I'm sure a lot of trans guys use that too. Shark Week came for me when I was on 0.5, like my very first 0.5 shot. It was like 2 days later it came. It came really fast, and it felt like someone punched me in the gut as hard as they possibly could. And ibuprofen before didn't really do its job, but now it's doing its job. And from what I've heard and from what I've noticed, everyone's body's different, and so your monthly cycle or Shark Weeks, you're on it either for a long time, or you're on it for a short amount of time, or you're on it never. They come and go. It just depends on what dose you're on and your genetics, I guess. I don't know. But since I'm only 1 month, I can't really say much. But yeah, so that happens. And one thing, certain trans guys, I don't know. From what I've heard, trans guys don't really talk about it, but bottom growth, I'm not going to describe what it is because no. Look it up for yourself. But bottom growth, there's a little bit of it going on. I noticed it happening like pretty much like a few days after I noticed my veins were being prominent. I have more veins in my legs, obviously, if I start noticing them. Hair, as far as hair goes, hair has become darker. I'm getting a little hair right here, and I already had this going on 7th, 8th grades, but that has become more darker and a little bit more thicker, and I'm becoming more greasy. I haven't completely broken out yet, but I hope not. Thank God, I hope not. But yeah, next month on the 13th, hopefully more changes will happen, and until then, I hope I'm not plagiarizing, but thank you guys for watching. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys next video. Trojan Prince out.